Hey there, it's Andrew with JNC Guns. Thanks for watching our videos, and if you like our videos, show us by subscribing. I told you guys I was going to do a video on this holster a little while back, the KT MECH Defender, and this particular one is cut out for the Streamlight TLR3 as well, for my Ruger SR9C. You've seen the videos on those, or on that gun I mean. And I wanted to wait a while and wear the holster for a while so I could give you guys a really good perspective and opinion on it, because I feel like I read a lot of holster reviews that say this is a great holster, it's comfortable, it's high quality, highly recommended. Well, that's great, and there are a lot of great holsters and other products out there, but I feel like that doesn't really give a good enough perspective on that particular person's situation, what they do all day, the position they're normally in. You know, if you're 5'8" and I don't know, 150 pounds, your holster might not work as well for somebody who is 6'5", 270, and any, you know, or any variation thereof. So I might do a little bit of information overload here, but I'm doing that just so I can give you guys a really good idea of why I like this holster, and, you know, my clothing system, the situations that I'm in more of the time when I'm carrying a weapon, and you know, hopefully that'll be useful for you guys and help you make an informed decision about any holster, whether it's this holster or any other holster. I have a box full of holsters, you know. This one is an all rigid one. I've got ones that are leather backed, Kydex hybrids, like a crossbreed Super Tuck from my 1911. You know, some shoulder holsters. Oh, what else? Ones that attach to packs, you know, for backpacking trips and stuff like that. So they all get used at some point, because not every holster is good for every situation. So I'll start off by saying that I'm 6'1" and 185 pounds. So not tiny, but not by any means a huge guy either. I'm pretty slender around the waist. It's kind of harder for me to conceal a larger framed handgun in the summer months. And, you know, I do kind of tend to slender out around the waist. I do lift weights, but, you know, I can eat whatever I want. Stuff just goes right through me. I've never really been a whole lot different from 6'1", 185 since I was 18 years old. And, you know, I've probably only varied from there plus minus 5 pounds at the most. So I'll kind of show you this. You see here, it does just have the, you know, the inside the waistband loops like any other IWB holster you guys would see, and it also came with these rigid outside the waistband loops that attach on the back right here, on these rivets on the back here, so you could put it on the outside of a belt or on a pack or something like that if you wanted to. I haven't tried it for that purpose yet, but I probably will here when it gets to be summer and I go into the back country a little bit more. And then another thing I'll say about this holster is that it rides a little bit higher than most inside the waistband holsters. The crossbreed Super Tuck I was using before, which is a great product, I'm not going to say anything bad about it, it kind of kept the butt of the handgun really kind of right above my belt. And with this one, it keeps it up a little bit higher. And what I found, having that slender frame, is that it's a little bit easier to conceal that way, having it right up a little bit higher. Because right there around the waist, being more slender, anything that you add around that area sticks out a lot better. Or sticks out a lot more, rather. And then, you know, personally, for my clothing system, you know, I don't really wear a lot of cotton. Anything. I wear like cotton shorts during the summer, and, you know, once in a while I'll wear jeans. I'm not a huge fan of jeans. I'll tend to wear more like, you know, nylon pants or like a cotton polyester hybrid. I just don't find jeans to be all that comfortable. They're a little bit too tight on me, at least most of the ones that I've tried. And then I tend to wear an Under Armour undershirt, at least in the winter, and then, you know, some sort of polyester or synthetic top around that, or maybe a cotton shirt over that, but always a nylon or you know, Under Armour style shirt. Because what I found tends to happen with cotton underclothing is, you know, besides just retaining moisture, sweat, and kind of keeping you miserable all day if you get sweaty, things tend to just kind of bunch up and not slide around the way I would like them to back into the position of comfort. Which brings me to my next point about this holster, is that when I bought it, I was taking a little bit of a gamble in my mind because, you know, it is an all-rigid holster, and I thought, man, you know, that thing just does not look like it's going to be comfortable. You can kind of see how it's cut to the contours of the gun here, and then here's the light cut out right here. And you look at that and you go, how can that be comfortable? But, you know, it is. Especially since it rides up higher. But what I have found that I didn't realize was going to happen when I bought the holster is that since it's plastic instead of a leather backing, it tends to just slide around on my hip when I sit down or, you know, switch positions into the position of comfort. Or it's easy for me to just kind of nudge it into the position of comfort with my elbow. Whereas with a leather-backed holster, like my old Crossbreed Super Tuck, it seems like it would kind of, you'd get it into a comfortable position just for taking the dog on a walk or going to the grocery store, and that's great. But then when you'd sit down to drive or just do something else, it would stay in the same spot because it would tend to grab right there and to stay in that position. Which, you know, and that might not be the case for everybody else. Maybe you guys have better luck with leatherback holsters, but that's just what happened with me. And then, like I said, this holster just tends to kind of slide around. And the biggest problem for me with all of the holsters, at least all the inside the waistband holsters that I've ever tried, is that once I sit down to drive, it is just not comfortable. It just, for whatever reason, it's digging into a nerve on my back or in my leg, and it's just not comfortable. And that is not the case with this holster. Like I said, it tends to slide around and be exactly where I want it to be. The cant on this holster is just a standard 10-degree cant, so almost upright, you know. Not quite an FBI cant, but not fully upright either. I think I paid $75 for this holster, and the inside the waistband loops were a little bit extra. It just came standard with the outside the waistband loops here. And I think that's and that included shipping too, and I think that's a pretty good deal. There are a lot of products out there that start around $75 without any add-ons or shipping. So I think that was a pretty good deal for everything that I got. I'm pretty satisfied with it. I think I'm going to continue using it. And I wanted a light compatible holster as well. So it's good for that, and it's made in the USA. You know, enough of our stuff is made in China or wherever, and you know, I like to have my firearms and my firearm accessories made in the USA whenever possible, so we can support American labor and innovation. I think that's a good thing. Yeah, so you know, that's basically what I think of it. You know, so the Crossbreed Super Tuck's another one I've tried. I think I've also tried a Galco King Tuck. I think those two are about probably the same in quality and feel to me. I don't notice a huge difference. You guys probably already noticed, but I'll just point out that it does have, you know, multiple rivet points on the front and back, so you can adjust the cant if you want. And I ended up just leaving them both here at the top because what I found happens is that when you tilt this thing too much and it's inside the waistband, it just, with these corners down here. Now they did a really good job of rounding this Kydex, which is great, but these corners just tend to be not all that comfortable when it's canted extreme one way or another. So I really just kind of left it how it was, and that's great. So I'll show you how the gun fits in it before we finish up here. So here's the Ruger SR9C with the Streamlight TLR3 attached on there. I'll do a video on that shortly as well for you guys. I do like it. I just wanted to have a light on the gun. I carry another separate flashlight, but I also just like having one on the gun. So just real quick, we'll safety check, show you that the gun is unloaded. You don't see any brass, and then we'll come in here and it just fits just like that. And it does have a slight edge over the magazine release, which I like. I have actually had a couple holsters where there was nothing protecting the magazine release, and it always was just in my mind that the magazine button was going to get pushed and it would pop out, which is, I don't know, maybe paranoid on my part, but that doesn't happen with this gun. I don't have to worry about it. And then what I will say about the retention is that it's very, very solid. It doesn't wiggle hardly at all. up and down, left and right. And the retention is also what I would call about perfect, because it's not overly loose like some holsters are, although you can always adjust that a little bit with Kydex and using a hairdryer and a wet washcloth. It's not overly loose, but it's also not overly tight to where you're really having to yank on it to come out. It's about perfect. And so I've really been happy with it. I haven't adjusted the fit at all. Like, I haven't taken a hairdryer and adjusted it. I've left it just the way it is. If you guys are interested in more about it, it's the KT Defender holster, ktmech.com. And it was about a 2-week turnaround time from ordering to manufacture to arriving at my door. So that was pretty reasonable, I thought, for a custom cut holster like this. You know, try to be thorough in these videos. I think I may have overloaded you guys a little bit here, but again, I wanted to give as much information as I could to make a really informed decision about any holster or piece of gear. You can't just say good or bad. You have to kind of say why and in what situation do I want this and what situation do I want that. So that's what I've tried to do here. Leave your comments and questions in the area below, and as always, thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel, and this has been Andrew with J&C Guns.